the point is that that is probably the only option that we have, and I guess I'm gonna have to try and find Anson. Hello Reformers, and welcome back to Pendor. Now, when we left off, we were doing a little bit of auto-resolving battles just to try and get a little bit of extra relation with the Noldor, and it actually worked out extremely well. It's one of the first times I've ever done that, so yeah, I think that was pretty awesome. Otherwise, what we're going to do here is we're just going to level up a couple of our people, and then we're going to try and find a ransom broker and just generally try to progress. I'm also going to do something that I think I probably should have done a while ago, but I just didn't have the space, basically, in my army. Now that obviously the auto-resolving has taken its toll a little bit on our forces, I suppose now would be the best time to ask Lethal Durin to go away and spread the word of the amazing Beartailed, and, you know, do a little bit of schmoozing with everyone in the land and tell them that I'm a fantastic liege, even though we know that's probably not the case. But, yes, we're hopefully going to be able to do that. So I'd like to ask you something. I suppose you know that I aspire to be king of this land. Yes. Ah, there we go. Would you then support my cause? I would. I still have friends amongst my people, despite my exile, and I'd let them know that our position would improve under your governance. I'll also watch your back most carefully. You'll need a good assassin in your court. I think it is high time the Noldor were considered Pendor citizens like any others. Well, yeah, why not? This is probably going to annoy a lot of people, actually, because do bear in mind that the Noldor have huge amounts of enemies. Though I am exiled from my people, I yet speak with old friends amongst them. If I tell them that as king you will end persecution of the Noldor, some will be persuaded. I may remove a few of the more strident objectors. Very good, you do that. Alright, so he's going to go away, and he'll be gone for maybe, I think, a week or 2 weeks, something like that. And I suppose in the meantime, it would probably be a pretty good idea for us to continue to gain some relation with... Oh, hello. Who's that? Hired assassins. Yeah, so that thing here, you awaken and feel as though someone is watching you. These guys are the reason why you get that particular message, as far as I'm aware. And we're actually going to just, you know, hunt them down a little bit here, because I have found in the past... I don't exactly know whether this was captured on screen or not, but in the past... when I've been playing Pendor, or any mod that includes the Hired Assassins event, I have found that if I am defeated at some point, that those Hired Assassins will then hunt you down mercilessly, and they will try their hardest to eliminate you at your weakest. And so I'm very much wanting to try and prevent that from actually happening. If it does happen, I think personally, we have just grown a little bit too... I think, in general, we're a little bit too smart, maybe, to get ourselves in a bad situation. You notice I, you know, included the word maybe in that sentence, because I don't exactly know whether we're too smart to actually get ourselves into a bad position. But it can happen. You know, there are many factors in Pendor, especially, that are just one of those things that will just jump out at you randomly and be like, hello, surprise, we're going to eliminate you very quickly. You know, that kind of thing. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of things. It's not really worth it, in my opinion. Couple of prisoners there as well. Alright, so yeah, they actually did hunt me down and then take me out, because I literally did not realize that they were after me at the time, and I obviously didn't have any people. I didn't have any people, so I was defeated again, and it's not very good, is it? No, not at all. Alright, so we do have a whole bunch of pretty awesome stuff, including this Noldor bow here, and this is a bent one. A bent one is just crazy good as it is. And we're just going to continue selling a couple of things here. Luckily, the merchants in Pendor do come equipped with a lot of money, so I'm very pleased to see that, of course. we've got to make us... We've basically just got to get space here. We just got to get space. I'm going to sell the various loot. Nordor trade goods, can sell that for a pretty decent sum. And yeah, I think what I'm going to do is next time we're in a battle or something like that and we get into a loot screen, I'm probably going to swap most of the Noldor stuff back into the sort of looting area and just see whether our companions want to, you know, equip any of that. Because at the moment, I don't think they do. I don't think they need any of that stuff, but maybe they do, and it would maybe be a good idea just you know, just to check in general. So let's actually just go in here real quick. Mithon Vale is here. Okay, so technically what I could do is I could ask for Phineas. He's currently at Sez. And Brother Randolph is at Senderfall. They're quite far away, those two things. So I'm probably not going to be doing anything regarding the elixirs at the moment. Even though, personally, I feel we're at the right level right now. 31 is a pretty decent level to use some elixirs. I think, generally, it would be a lot easier if we were a little bit higher. Maybe level 35 or so. But it's going to take me a long time to get to 32 unless I'm able to get a whole bunch of kills or something. And yeah, I don't know whether that's really going to happen. Anyway, is there anything I can do to help? So, I've heard you have problems with rivals, or I was told you were looking for a tournament champion. Now, the tournament champion might be easier than dealing with rivals, but I think rivals are probably going to give us some better renown rewards. I'm not entirely sure. Let's actually just take a look. The Knights of the Ravenspear. We do have an ongoing feud with the Knights of the Ravenspear based in Poinsbrook. While the history between our two orders have been difficult at best, they seem to want to escalate the conflict further. They have sent louts and mercenaries to harass our patrols around Laria. This is unacceptable, and they must be stopped. Will you do us a favor and drive off the interlopers? Well, yes, sure. I am bound by my honor to do so, or certainly the Knights of the Ravenspear are not my friends. Either way, doesn't seem to make too much difference. The rival patrol is in the vicinity of Laria. Seek it out and defeat it. Right. So let's hope that our forces have recuperated enough. And, there they are. Oh! They're actually not fielding a very large army at all. I actually thought that we would have many more difficulties. But, yeah, let's do it. Alright, so the Knights of the Ravenspear. I'm not a big fan of the Knights of the Ravenspear in general. I feel like they have some good units sometimes, but most of the time they're kind of outclassed by other knighthood orders. I'm going to just tell everyone to charge in here because basically every single unit in the Knights of the Ravenspear is a cavalry of some kind. And it's just better for us to get the drop on them rather than, yeah, you just saw that Jatu Lancer get absolutely murdered. So yeah, it's better that we attack them first without them actually getting the opportunity to murder us, 6 ways from Sunday, or, whatever that particular saying is. Anyway, let's see if I can do a little bit of extra damage here, maybe. Oh, it seems like a bunch of them are actually getting dismounted, which is good. But unfortunately, my sword at the moment is probably not going to be the greatest thing to use against heavily armored units, which is what these are. So that's going to be a bit of an issue, but I think the speed is probably going to help us out. Hopefully. We're actually losing a whole bunch of units here, and that's exactly to be expected. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if I actually allowed these guys to charge at us? And I'd taken a little bit longer to actually decide what I was going to do with my tactics. Yeah, it would have been an absolute bloodbath. More than it already is. You can see here that we're actually losing a whole bunch of units. And that's... I can't do anything about that, unfortunately. There's just really nothing I can do. Oh, hello. Am I going to die? I hope not. I hope not, but it's seeming to be kind of on the cards at the moment. As you can see, though, we are doing reasonably in regards to that. Oh, yeah, that was a nice slash right there, taking out that guy. And not putting ourselves in too much jeopardy. Take out that fellow as well. And you know what's cool about this? Using my lance is great, because that does give me the opportunity to take extra prisoners, and that is, well, invaluable, isn't it? It's really invaluable. Well, technically it is valuable because, it has a set price. Every single prisoner has a set price of some kind. And, yeah, it's pretty good. pretty good to do that. Obviously, I don't have the greatest build at the moment or equipment for taking prisoners, but blunt weaponry is always decent, and I don't really mind a little bit of extra cash here and there. I'm very much hoping, however, that the Larian Sentinels that we gained from the task, the previous task that we did in a prior episode from the Clarion Call, have not been killed. So let's actually just take a quick look and see whether that is indeed the case. We have so many different units. We lost 24 in that particular fight, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I have a huge amount of surgery skill. Do I not have a good amount of surgery skill? Or is that because I still do not have that medic companion? I might still not have that medic companion, which is pretty awful, actually. It's pretty awful of me not to have that. Let's actually just talk to Frederick here, because he has taken a Dark Knight helm. That's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Yep, that's fine. Alright, nothing to worry about there. Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, he can use that on his mount. I thought to myself, oh, he can't use that on his mount. I'm going to have to do something about that. And they're just equipping some gauntlets. That's absolutely fine. I don't have a problem with that. Ooh, a gold bar. Now that's nice. Give me that gold bar and the chest piece and the helm and the horse and another helm for some pretty awesome profits here. Alright, there we go. And, oh, apparently I'm only able to take 2 of them prisoner. Apparently the other one was unable to be taken prisoner, which is okay. That's absolutely fine. But now we are in a pretty, well, not very enviable position any further, because most of our forces have been killed. Actually, just downright killed, and it's not really looking good at the moment. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do here, but I guess I'll just have to try my best. Now let's actually just see here. I think Power Strike can actually be improved even further, so I'm actually wondering whether I should go for Strength more. I mean, it says here that it's not at its learning limit, so I'm not entirely sure whether that's just not displaying or whether it actually is the case. But anyway, I'm just going to get Power Strike 10 for Sigismund here, and then we'll get him some additional Iron Flesh and stuff like that as we continue to level up his agility, and then we can maybe get him some more in Shield or Athletics or something like that. So that seems decent enough. And Donovan does need to level up as well. Let's give him another point in Intelligence, because his trainer is obviously the main reason why we keep him around. He's pretty awesome in that regard, and we'll give him some more in Iron Flesh and Shield. That seems good to me. So yeah, I think we actually don't have, yeah, you can see here we actually do not have a surgeon, which I gotta say is awful. It is really, really bad for us not to have a surgeon at this time in the game. And this is like almost nearing late game. We're almost in the late game, kind of. We're sort of more in the sort of mid game right now, because we are literally still just a mercenary, just, you know, trying to build up our forces, build up our various statistics, such as renown, honor, and of course the relation with the Noldor. So the more we're able to do that, obviously the better, and the quicker that we're able to get to the late game. But yeah, obviously right now, that's probably not going to happen. Now, I'm actually wondering what I should do here. Should I help the Noldor? Should we help the Noldor against the Ravenstern? I guess, why not? I mean, what we can always do is we can always speak to the Ravenstern and basically say, hey, would you like some peace? And then they can just be like, yes, pay us. And then there you go. And then we get peace back. So I guess that's pretty good. But as it stands, I think it's... I hope they're going to get some relation from me helping them at the very least. Because if they don't, then that's going to be kind of sad. This sword... yeah, I'm not entirely sure about it at the moment. I must admit that I personally, at the moment, I probably prefer the other sword that we were using, the Singalian, the long Singalian blade, whatever that was, because as it stands right now, we're unable to actually get insane speed bonuses from such a fast sword. I don't know whether that makes a real big difference, but it seems to. I don't know whether you've noticed, but it seems like we're dealing a little bit less damage from horseback with this with this sword at the moment, because it's just fast. That's the point. It's just fast, and when you're obviously, you know, charging towards someone like so, and then you slash, the sword's speed is maybe a little bit too fast in comparison to the previous one that I was using. So anyway, there you go. We've improved our Noldor relation even further from 13 to 17. And do bear in mind that we still have that Noldor book. We still have the Noldor book, and I'm still reading that. Do bear that in mind. I'm still reading that, so that's pretty awesome. Actually, there's another caravan here. We might actually get to plus 21 Noldor relation, which would be absolutely fantastic. To do that without having read any of the books, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. And apparently I've been told, actually, by one of you in the comments that the requirement, I think it is, for the... what is it now? For the quest, yes, that's it. For the quest, to be able to see Elecray, because that apparently slipped my mind, where you do actually need to complete a quest to be able to do that, to be able to actually see the town in question. And, well, apparently you need plus 25? I'm not entirely sure about that, but, or plus 30? I can't really remember right now, but from my experience in the past, I have only had the opportunity to gain that quest when I've been plus 15 with the Noldor. So maybe that's been changed, I'm not entirely sure, but if it has, then this battle is going to make all the difference, because we'll have 21 at the end of this, if, well, I'm pretty sure that they will give us that additional relation once the battle has concluded, but once this is over, then the book will give us 10 from, you know, reports from you in the comments, because I previously thought that the books gave 15, but they apparently only give 10. So if it does indeed give 10, then that will take us up to 31, and then we will be in a great position to take that quest and then eliminate the extremely difficult Jatu army. Yeah, technically the Jatu army is not even that difficult, it's just the fact that it is kind of... how do I say it? It's kind of large in numbers. That's basically how it is, because those guys, we know how effective the Jatu can be. They're not exactly... they're not exactly durable, I guess you could say, but they have amazing offensive capability, because they literally all have lances or bows, and they all have horses. So they're basically, as I said in a previous episode, they're basically the Khergit Khanate 2.0. So they're really very good at what they do, and it's one of those things, you know, it's one of those things that you really do not want to get involved in. You know, those Jatu armies are crazy good. Crazy good. But hopefully, as I say, hopefully Lethal Durin is going to be returning to us soon, and as far as I'm aware, once again, from you in the comments, the benefit to sending him away, with the exception of gaining a little bit of right to rule, is gaining a couple of Noldor warriors, or Noldor rangers, or in general just some Noldor units. And that's going to be pretty awesome. If we can make that work, and we can actually, you know, keep those guys alive, which is exactly the reason why I think what I'm going to do is I'll try and find, I think it is Anson. Anson is the medical companion in Pendor, with the exception of Leslie, obviously, because Leslie unfortunately had problems with some of our forces, so obviously, well, some of our companions, to be more specific, but, you know, the point is that that is probably the only option that we have, and I guess I'm gonna have to try and find Anson. You know, that's definitely something that I'm not a big fan of, because I would have thought that I would have found him already. I have been to many taverns in this series so far, because I've been I was looking for the rumors, you know, I was looking for the rumors to be able to gain the Qualis Gem, the first Qualis Gem, you know, from the Red Brotherhood hideout, and I was trying my best with that, and I didn't find Anson anywhere. Didn't find him anywhere, so I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't shown himself yet. But I guess that's just how it is at the moment. Maybe we'll get a bit luckier, I suppose, as time goes on. Maybe he just I don't know, maybe he was just unlucky enough to kind of travel from tavern to tavern in like an opposite direction to what I was doing. So then he was always in a place that I had just been, if you know what I mean. So that's probably the case. But anyway, that seems good. We've done this particular fight, no problem at all. And we're now up to 21 relation, which is pretty fantastic. That means that once I have read this book, we'll be up to 31, and then I should be able to take the quest to defeat the Jatu army. And yeah, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do that, to be honest, because, as I say, the Jatu and the Noldor, they're very, very hateful of each other, and there's good reason for that, because obviously the Jatu are extremely good at countering the Noldor. If they just straight up charge into the Noldor, then they're going to take some casualties, but because the Jatu nearly always outnumber the Noldor, they tend to have the advantage in many cases. So anyway, I'm just going to take the rest of these things. There we go, and we'll just capture a couple of people here. And I think that's good. Yeah, I think that's actually pretty fine for me to just leave these guys alone now. I don't really want to get involved in any further fighting, as I'm not a big fan of increasing our relation that much further with the Noldor. I think we're probably going to be pretty fine here, because I think there's also a book, another book that we can actually buy from someone else as well. So I think we don't have to worry too much about it. Anyway, let's take this stuff here, and a rusty Noldor longsword. We already are using one of these, but as you can see, the 120 speed rating in comparison to the 88, I think that's actually making a pretty significant difference. I'm actually just going to try out the Singalian saber once again, and we'll see how that goes. But otherwise, I'm just pretty happy to have a whole bunch of loot that I can sell here. This balanced military pick is actually very nice. It has 35 piercing damage, only 70 weapon reach, but, you know, you can't have it all, can you? No, certainly not. Anyway, let's just sell one of the Noldor longswords, and yeah, I still need to do that thing that I said I was going to do by, you know, placing some of the Noldor gear in the main looting screen, just so that our companions get the pick, I guess. Let's just check the tavern once again. Eric's, hello. Yeah, unfortunately he's not actually giving me any useful information. I was hopeful that maybe he would give us the location of someone good, or maybe he was a ransom broker himself. I'm actually going to hire these Veka V manhunters. I feel like they're actually pretty good. They're not the best, but I feel like they're decent. Anyway, that will be it for this episode. Next time, we will hopefully have found Anson. I'm going to do my best to try and find Anson. I'm probably just going to go around the Kingdom of Sarlian and see what I can do about that. And otherwise, I guess maybe we'll also be done with the book by then too. And hopefully Lethal Durin will be back also. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.